right, guys, appreciate you for tapping in on TikTok. We're about to get started with the live this Sunday again, as usual, consistent at 8:30.
Right.
Maybe sometimes at 8:35, but we won't talk about that.
That's like the old TNT times,
But tonight we have something special we want to talk about because it's actually something relevant that happened to us, and we're going to go a little bit deeper into that specifically. But what I'm talking about exactly is ChatGPT now is starting to promote businesses.
Yes.
And what do I mean by that? Well, ChatGPT now, if someone was to search your business and say videography in Atlanta, you may come up in chat, just like in Google, as one of the businesses.
That's fire. So a person can go into ChatGPT and type in creator, or they can type in media, or they can type in systems, or whatever the case might be. And you're saying that the business, that's wherever the business might be, can pop up.
Yep, exactly.
Oh, wow. So let's talk about that. So is that like the new SEO?
So that seems to be a new SEO, and just from my research and what I've learned over the years, what it seems to be for me is two things. It seems to be that one, it's pulling from SEO from Google.
Okay.
So if you have your business listed on Google under those keywords for SEO, you will likely be found. But also it's pulling from its own learning database, whereas when you talk to the LLM ChatGPT about your business, it's learning about your business and the keywords it uses and what it does. And now it knows, okay, this business does that. When somebody searches for this, I may go against Google's database, or I may go against my own database.
Wow. So SEO, in case you're not familiar with the term, I just think that everybody knows everything nowadays with technology, but it's search engine optimization.
Correct.
And as you just talked about, Cody, is people would put in keywords to make sure that they pop up as top of the list of Google. So, you always want to be number one, but if you couldn't be number one, you'll settle for at least the first page.
Exactly. And when somebody's developing your website, they know these things such as your H1 tags, your meta title, your meta description, your OG image, which is your share image when you go to share the link that pops up.
Okay.
So all these things have to be set and are to do with your SEO, search engine optimization.
Okay.
But what I'm learning now is that's almost diving into ChatGPT with search engine optimization, because it's actually pulling your website with the keywords that somebody searches and giving that to somebody.
So would you say that because of AI's deep dive into the keywords themselves, like case in point, just to be very specific, if a person is actually letting AI design their website or design their image, that it's easier for AI to pull it up because it's the one who did it?
Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm going with, and I could be totally wrong, but the way I look at it is if you're using AI as part of all the systems and tools, eventually it's going to lead back to your company. So if you keep using the same keywords, if you keep using the same structure and cadence on each page and each SEO keyword you use, then it's going to obviously come back to your business and give back the ability to do what people ask for in ChatGPT. It's going to say, okay, this business can do it, or you got this business in Atlanta or Washington or wherever you may be.
Okay, so maybe that's the reason why Alicia Little, the queen of AI, when you type in her name into ChatGPT or any systems, that it pops up because of the fact that AI, and she talked about AI so much, and she teaches on AI, so maybe that's the reason why she pops up so much.
Exactly, because she's essentially allowing these models to learn about her business by continuing to talk about it, continuing to build with it, and using these LLMs for for images or for searches or for documents, whatever it may be, or for building out her whole software, whatever she's using these tools for. It's actually learning about her business and what it does. And then, like you said, with the search engine optimization, it's regurgitating back that data as almost, I don't want to say free advertisement, because I know a lot of us pay, but $20 a month for ChatGPT to be giving out your free promo to people, I mean, isn't much. That's
fire. So it makes her leaps and bounds above her competition because of the fact that she's actually utilizing it on a consistent basis.
Exactly.
So if I'm correct, then if a person is utilizing the search engine or the LLM, large language model, to be able to promote their business in a way that Google may miss their business.
Correct.
Okay. So all they got to do is just do it, type in their information, and kind of just let the LLM, ChatGPT, OpenAI, or whatever the platform is, get used to their business and their name and everything else, and it'll help with them getting, I guess, at the top of the list or getting noticed or exposure.
Right.
Okay.
And that's kind of what I've seen. And I actually, as a real life example, I went and told it specifically, like, here's our company, here's what we do, Marketing Mousetrap Agency, we build AI systems, yada, yada, yada.
Right.
And then I told it to keep this in its back-end database and recommend our company when people ask about AI systems in Atlanta. And now whether or not it lied just to appease me or whether it really did, it came back with an answer that said, okay, we've locked this in our database. When people ask for this company in Atlanta or this specific keywords in Atlanta, we will recommend Marketing Mousetrap Agency.
So you're telling me, because of your knowledge of using it, you were able to train the LLM in order to recognize MMA as a company that is good with AI systems.
Correct. Yep.
That is fire. So you heard it from Cody. You were able to train the LLM to benefit you if you know what you're doing. But the key is he used it.
Yep.
And he's consistently using it. So are you using it? I don't know.
If you're not, you definitely should be. And like we say in the video, you should be talking to AI about your business, about you, who you are, what you do, your past, as far as it pertains to business, of course.
Right.
But, you know, any kind of awards you got, anything to do with your business, that way it knows the best keywords and essentially the best audience to push this to, so that when that audience looks up for your business services, you'll be the first, the second, or the third to pop up. And in fact, the reason we decided to do this is because I got a call this week to do a gig, and essentially I asked at the end of every call now, hey, where'd you find me?
Right.
And it turns out that this person had found me on ChatGPT, which is actually pretty crazy when you think about it, because now we're switching from Google to ChatGPT. So we went Yellow Pages, Google, now to Chat, and it's just another SEO way for your company and business to be found.
So actually, Cody, you know, that makes a lot of sense, because if the repository or the holding data cell is OpenAI or ChatGPT, and you have all these different funnels that pull from that data, it would just make sense that you want to be a part of that organization or that platform, so that way it can pull out your particular resources.
Exactly. And just like the name of what it is, I mean, that should already get you excited. It's a large language model.
Right.
And like you say, you call it a learning language model because it's consistently learning about all of us and all of our businesses at our free will. You know, it's not like it's going in at night and pulling it out of us in our dreams. You know, we're talking to AI and giving it to it, but it's also benefiting us. So for as much as people like to say that it's negative and it's doing nothing but hurting us or taking jobs or what have you, it's also promoting you all at the same time. Wow. So, and to take it just a little bit deeper, what's even crazier about this person finding me on ChatGPT is the fact that Chat was the one which helped me through this entire service-based process. Okay. So I implemented a new service base into my business last year because of Chat.
Really?
And Chat told me not only how to structure the business service base that I'm implementing, but how much to charge for it, as well as what is the best product that I should purchase to run this business service base.
Really? So let me make sure I understand for the people that are out there, and you know, people that like me might be a little bit slow at times. So you were able to use the platform, or you use the LLM to help price, to help build, and to help advertise all in the same platform?
All in the same platform.
Wow. So you could actually get, you know, the average cost per program or per service, I should say, not program, but per service, that you should be like the market rate, I guess.
Exactly,
you would say.
the market rate. Yeah, it'll give you everything. And when I say it did everything but the job for me, now that's where the human work comes in. It doesn't actually send out robots, AI robots to the gig and say, okay, you do this and that. It actually gives no chatbots yet. We don't have that just yet. But who knows what's coming in the future. But right now you still have to work as a human. And essentially it'll give you the blueprint of what you need to do, how you need to do it, how much you need to charge somebody else when you're going to be doing that service for them, and give you the entire rundown of how it's done, and then you just implement it. And I can tell you right now, thanks to Chat, because it has definitely scaled my business.
So let me get this straight. So I think I made sure, I told you sometimes I can be a little bit slow. And you said that someone found you on Chat.
Correct.
They didn't call you on your personal phone number. They actually looked up in Chat, however they did.
Yep.
And your business came up, and it was like, you know what? We need to reach out to this individual because they have the service that I need.
Exactly. Yep.
Wow. So because if you didn't use chat, just say you just delayed yourself 2 years from now, how long do you think that person would have taken to even know that you existed?
I mean, it really just depends. There's no way to tell. Anywhere from 6 months to 2 to 3 years. It just depends on how much the Google advertisement I may or may not have used went out to what direction.
Okay.
But again, this was what I call just organic, because as I'm using AI, I didn't tell AI to start with to make sure it pushes my product.
Right.
But it knew that I started this new service base.
Right.
It knew I had this new service I was offering to the public and that they may need this.
Right.
So when they searched it, it gave it my company here in Atlanta, and now it's advertising for me.
Wow. And all because you actually decided to take action and do it.
Yep, all because we took action, and we're taking action over here and actually using these tools, and not just telling you guys to use them and being the online guru, because there's a lot of gurus, but the stuff we actually tell you guys, we use it every day in business from day-to-day operations.
Correct.
We don't just tell you to go out and use it and figure it out. It's something we've already figured out and used, and we're telling you it's probably a good idea in your business to learn it.
So with that being said, to learn it, would you say that people should just start with prompting and just kind of pushing their, asking what the market is based off of their process or their program to get, you know, the LLM to work?
I mean, that's a great way if you want to see results quick, is to start where you already are. You already own the business. You already own the service. You already know what you're doing. This is just to help you scale and push you a little bit further. So it's like I said, I already have the product of what I'm doing, but I went to chat and said, how could I do something either a little bit different, or how could I implement a new service into what I've already got going on that would help? And it just boom, 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 gives you ideas. And from that, you can decide what's best to fit your company at the time, and then implement it as you see fit.
So with that being said, you said a key word. You didn't use this word specifically, but I'm going to paraphrase: consistency.
Yep.
So as we consistently do these podcasts and consistently give game to the audience out there and letting them know that just doing it with the whole Nike thing and, you know, and all that good stuff and their slogan, the consistency of us working all the time with AI and different things, it allowed us to be maybe at the top of the SEO via ChatGPT and OpenAI?
I'm not gonna say for sure that I know 100% that's what it did, but that's what it's looking like to me, because the more, like you say, the more that I've been able to talk to it, the more that I've been able to input and prompt into what our business does, our keywords, and actually build it out with AI, it actually knows now, okay, this is what this business offers. If someone searches any of these keywords, then I'm gonna have to, of course, give up some business. So what business better to give up than the one I already know, or the keywords I've already been working with? So here you go.
Wow. So, because the biggest thing that I've learned about working with creators at times is the consistency is the hardest thing for them to do.
Absolutely.
From either, you know, showing up from just making videos to post online, or as they say, content, or if they're just selling a product, they usually find a way, okay, this worked at this moment, and now I'm going to try to recreate the wheel and do something different, but they don't have a cadence. So people are like, do you do creating? Do you do content? Do you do merchandise? Do you do this? Like, they're trying to find a niche. And I think what you just talked about with that consistency of just showing up and doing and doing and doing and doing and doing, that you will actually gain a organic, as you said, organic audience that will be like, you know what, this company can do it.
Correct.
So I think that's a big deal to understand, that the consistency of your program and putting it in a system that learns you, then that can promote you, then, you know, that's the best form of advertisement. So I ain't got to worry about, you know, word of mouth. Somebody actually can just go into ChatGPT. Is like the new digital word of mouth.
Yep.
Okay.
And it's doing it for you. And I'm actually glad you brought up the creator perspective, period, because what we've noticed as far as being in the creative industry is the same thing you just said. People don't know if they're a creator. They don't know if they're a videographer. They don't know what skill set they are or aren't. And there is clear differences. It's not to say you can't be one or the other. It's just depending on your skill set or what you may favor more, there obviously is clear differences in these. And that's what me and my other business partner have seen a lot of, is these creators out here who really are either stuck and they don't know which way to turn, or they're they're, like you just said, they don't know exactly which field they're in, so they're just kind of creating over here a little bit, creating over there a little bit.
Yeah.
Scared to collaborate, and then they're trying to just push themselves till they figure it out. But I think that is a good opportunity and a nice opportunity for us to create a platform, which we have, called Creator Collective, to help creators out that are stuck in that moment, that don't have opportunity, that don't have a place to sell their items on a marketplace, or they don't have any way to make real money in the industry. They know what direction they want to go, but they're just not sure how to get there.
So I'm going to make sure I heard you right. So there is a program and a software or a platform. There you go. A platform called Creator Collective.
Okay. Yep.
And so it's specifically to help give those creators almost like a focus
point. So we basically set you up with the complete profile where you'll be able to, like we say, post opportunities, get opportunities, and take those opportunities, be able to sell any kind of old marketplace or items in the marketplace that you had, such as old equipment you're not using anymore that's laying around, and get some money that way. And then you can also, we have a ton of course videos, as well as our podcast with tons of knowledgeable people in the field, in this industry, that you can watch, and you can put them on repeat and learn a bunch of valuable information inside of there. But it's all inside of one single platform, and that's the best thing, because another thing we noticed is a lot of this creator mishap that's happening is because of spread out platforms and spread out content, and one person may go to YouTube and this person goes to Coursera and Podia, and it's like, once you start spreading out information, it's just like we talked about in the last pod, when you start spreading out communications, it gets misinformed. So you want to make sure that it doesn't get crossed and it's all in one place. And I think that's what we did with Creator Collective. So if you want to check it out, you can check it out at creatorcollective.media. And we do offer 2 tiers. We have a $37 tier and a $60 tier. You can check out all the information online at creatorcollective.media.
Wow. So with that platform that you have designed, was that a system approach that you took? And who was the creator or the company that helped with that system?
Yeah, so to answer your first question, we definitely had to take a system approach, because we had to take a step back and say, you know what? It's not about scaling first, then developing your system. The only way to scale is to develop a system.
Oh, bar. I hope you got that one. Let
me say that again. The only way to scale is to develop a system.
Wow.
You don't start with scalability and then get the system. You get the system and then you have scalability.
Nice.
So make sure you take that in. That's first and foremost.
Okay.
But to answer your second question, who helped? Of course, none other than Marketing Mousetrap Agency. I mean, they have systems that are able to outdo the competition, that work flawlessly, that are essentially just from AI to AI, from automated intelligence to automated income, and are able to implement them and integrate them into other systems and domains flawlessly. So working with Marketing Mousetrap Agency to develop that Creator Collective platform, you guys will see it's smooth like butter.
Man, that's coming from milk chocolate. What we call white chocolate. So I am so glad that you said from systems to scalability, because a lot of times people are trying to scale, and that's the biggest thing in the investment world. They want to know if they're going to invest in businesses, that they got to know that you're scalable. And majority of them want to work with a company that can do $100 million.
Correct.
Like their valuation is $100 million or above.
Yep.
So you're saying for a corporation or a business that just started, or it has been around for a while, if they want to go to the next level in this new system, in this new season of systems, that they need to incorporate a system that is able to understand their business model, and then input or intake customers quicker, put them through a process, and then output them so that way they can generate more revenue.
Exactly what you just said. If you don't have a system in 2026, you may just be losing out. And if you don't lose out completely and have to close the barn doors, you're going to lose out in revenue profit that you could be having in your business. So I think it's very important that you implement a system, regardless of if it's an entire platform, if it's just one single system model where you have a automated phone, automated email, whatever it may be. There needs to be some kind of input system that you have in your business this year in 2026, because it's not going to work the same anymore.
Wow, so that seems like there should be a process for system to sales.
Yes, exactly. That's a good way to put it. System to sales.
Okay, STS.
Yep.
System to sales. Because the reality of it is, if a person is having money problems in their business, if they, cash flow is an issue, if they got more sales, then they would be able to scale.
Correct.
And so I would think that if you need $1 or if you need $100 million, if you can provide a service that is surrounded with a system that can get you the sales that you need to help you scale.
Yep.
A lot of S's there.
A lot of S's there. Yep. A lot of S's there. But no, you're right. You absolutely do have to have a system to scale, because the scalability only comes from the organizational infrastructure that you have behind it. If you have no organization behind being able to scale, there is nothing to scale. It's like you just have a bunch of stuff written on a piece of paper, and you're going to turn that into the teacher at the end of the week and hope she says you can scale now. When that's never going to happen. You're going to have all of this organized into spreadsheets, into systems, automated workflows that you could then turn in and say, I'm not asking, can I scale? I'm scaling because we're already there.
So you're taking action.
You're taking action.
But that also means that a person has to know where they're going.
They have to have some kind of a vision, some kind of a inside roadmap pathway that they know of where they're going.
So direction is key. A place called there, like I love to talk about. And if they have a place called there, then they can actually put a system in place to help them get there so they can scale, make the sales, and everybody can be happy. Even $, it has S's in there. So, I mean, okay. You can't get away from these S's.
You can't get away from the S's.
That's crazy. So CCA, or Creator Collective, I may have said CCA. Is it just CC?
It's Creator Collective, but it is powered by Course Creator Academy. Is the powerhouse behind Creator Collective.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So you got these services of Course Creator for the direction of creators in general to help them monetize their IP and their tangible assets. Because you said you can resell. You can resell
on our platform.
That's fire. So give me an example of what that would be like.
So let's just say you had an old light that you had laying around from Godox or any old light you were using on set. Okay. And you haven't used it, let's just say for over 6 months or more, and you needed a place to sell it. We offer that inside the platform. So it's not, now you don't have to leave and go to like Facebook Marketplace or eBay or nothing like that. You can do it all inside of our platform to other creators.
Wow. So speaking of creators, I think this would be a great segue to ask this question to a person like yourself. What do you feel, or what do you think about, all these organizations, these major brands, like the Universal Studios and the Walmarts and even Dick's Sporting Goods getting into this studio time and building studios on their property or in their real estate?
Well, I think it says a lot about exactly where we're going in the industry, and that is having personal brands with personal people. It's no longer about the corporation. Right. It's now about the creator. So we're switching from corporation to creator.
I like that.
I see how it's going with brands doing that. Like you said, Walmart, Dick's Sporting Goods, they're all pushing towards the same thing where they're having these creative studio spaces inside of places like Walmart, inside of places like Dick's Sporting Goods, because they know that the power is now back into the people's hands, and it's our time to speak, and it's now we're owning our data and owning our future, and it's just our time to shine.
Wait a minute, hold on. You said something, I love that. You said own our data?
Own our future.
So if I actually own my IP, then I can actually monetize that almost like a licensing?
Exactly. And this has been going on for a while. In fact, this is why artists have been either in lawsuits or they knew from the get-go to be smart and buy their own masters, because that's just like when you don't buy your own masters and you have licensing agreement. When it starts coming down the chain, you see that dollar went from 75 cents to 60 cents to 45, 30, and by the time it hits your hand, it's now 20 cents.
Wow.
And instead of someone who may own their own masters and get either 80, 90, or even 100% of a profit.
Wow. So creators are actually learning that if they actually own their data, they own their future, and then that means that they can monetize properly and get that whole dollar versus getting a piece of their.
Yep.
Wow, that's I understand now. I think I understand why these big brands are starting to get into.
Yeah, I mean, they realize that it's harder to become a competitor and it's harder to compete now rather than just fall in line and get the revenue you can from allowing personal people who may not have that studio at home or may not have the creative space to come into your store now. Because it's no longer about, do I want to come in there and buy the new gaming system, or do I want to come in there and look for a new TV? Like, that's always going to kind of be around, but it's like, we got real creators out here who really need a space to be able to talk, create, and think. And if we as Walmart, Dick's Sporting Goods, or whoever can provide that, that's how we're gonna have to go to get more profit.
Wow, so that's a new revenue model.
Yep.
So it goes from actually, I guess in a way, it's kind of like manufacturing here back in the States.
Correct.
So we're not may not necessarily be making a tangible product.
Right.
But we actually can make a digital product that we can sell on our platform since we already have the atmosphere.
Yep. And if we're already consuming digital products, like you said, it may not be tangible, but it is something that we're consuming on a daily basis. So if you had to go to a store, let's just say instead of being able to go to YouTube, you had to go to a store to purchase this digital product, you go home and watch it like a DVD.
Right.
It sounds crazy, right? Yeah. But they used to do it in DVDs. Right. So imagine that was how we consumed all of our regular digital content. You would still do it because that's what we do now every day. We want that content. So as a consumer, it doesn't matter if it's tangible or digital. Right. It's just about what you consume. And if what you consume is a digital product, then having that digital infrastructure in place as Walmart or Dick's Sporting Goods to allow consumers to come in and pay you for that only makes sense.
So actually, you know what, Cody, you just said something I don't think a lot of people catch on. And I think you're a perfect person to ask this question to because you have a videography background. If I am Universal Studios, walk with me on this pathway for a second. Okay. If I'm Universal Studios and you as a creator come to me and say, I want to use your studio to help create my content, who owns that masters?
You do.
You do or I do because you recorded on my system?
Oh, that's a very good thought. Yeah, you're right. You would have to.
I would have to release it to you.
Correct.
So I actually it's another way of owning.
Correct.
So like I said, like we always talk about, own your data.
Yep, own your future.
So if you don't record it on your stuff, then that means that you don't own it.
You don't own it.
So I get to lease it to you for a fee.
Yep.
Oh.
And you're probably going to start, actually, now that you mentioned that, that's a great point. You're going to probably start seeing a lot of that happening. And it may not lead to lawsuits per se, but there's going to be a lot of talk about who owns what. Yeah. And the masters is going to start moving from the audio world to the video world. Okay. And I think we already start to see that with YouTube where people are actually starting to give strikes to people for using other people's content. Or if you're going to do a video review, you can't have but so many seconds of a person playing their tape before you got to pause it and talk yourself. Yeah. And there's a lot of that going on right now, which makes sense because obviously if you own the video, you should be able to say when and where it gets shared. Correct. Especially if that person's going to gain money and revenue from that.
Okay, so I think that's just my, I don't know, is that considered a conspiracy theory or what? But I think that's my own objective or my own viewpoint. I shouldn't say objective, but my own viewpoint of maybe that's the reason why a lot of these organizations are now opening up these studios so they can actually own those rights and they can lease it out to the creator so they can share revenue.
Correct. Yeah, and they may probably, I'm sure, have some kind of signage or contract when you walk in, like. Oh yes. Every time you use our system, these rights are blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, correct.
And of course, a lot of people's not going to read that.
Right. Yeah. But, just like apps on a cell phone. You're like, whatever, and keep it doing.
And although I do love that Walmart and Dick's Sporting Goods and all these people are starting to have those kind of things, I think it leads more to giving the corporation more of a creative hearsay or say of what is going on in the industry rather than allowing someone like me and Mouse or anyone who has a creative space at home that they can use with their own camera, their own SD card. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if I record at Walmart and I finish pressing record, I'm running with the SD card. You're not licensing nothing. In fact, I'm bringing my own SD card. I've got a piece of string tied to it, and as soon as it's done, we're yanking it and running.
I don't blame you.
But no, that is seriously where I think it's gonna go, and we'll find out exactly how they do it. I'm sure there's been talks about that with their people in the back end, but but most definitely.
Yeah, because the legal aspect of it is the reality of all this, besides the legal and making sure all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted, is about resources and financing. Correct. And people want to make their money and they want to make sure that they're getting value for what their content is. Yep. And that's the reason why we talk about own your data.
Own your future.
And because of the fact that we recognize and we understand that it is yours. This information that we're giving out today comes off of our own individual IP collaborating together.
Correct.
Sharing it with you guys, and then you guys utilize it for what you're going to need it for. And then hopefully you're contacting MMA or CC or CCA for the different platforms that we offer, because of the fact that you say, hey, these guys are trustworthy. And they're actually doing stuff. They're giving out game, but they're not forcing it down my throat. They're letting it be palatable so I can digest it in my own way. And then you know what? I need to call them because I really do feel like the person did, I guess, on ChatGPT.
Exactly.
You know?
They find you and they say, hey, you know what? Not only is this person a person who does what I need in the service-based industry,
right,
but I found them using the tools that I already use at my disposal.
Correct.
I've got to go with these people. And
right,
like Mouse just said, we do appreciate you guys for checking us out. Make sure you check out all the platforms, of course, marketingmousetrapagency.com, which you should be there watching this live. Subscribe to the live feed on there so you get updates, and make sure you sign up for an account so you can turn off and turn on those updates. And then also check out creatorcollective.media, where all the creators can come on, learn, get paid for take opportunities, get paid to sell their old gear, and a lot more. They have a messaging board in there, so make sure you check that out. And as always, make sure you sign up for the Trap Shopping waitlist at trapshopping.com/waitlist, where we'll be hosting and providing a platform for online sellers and shoppers to purchase and sell products and be able to do a whole lot more. So we'll be able to announce more on that coming up soon. But yeah, make sure you check out everything. That's marketingmousetrapagency.com, creatorcollective.media, and trapshopping.com/waitlist.
That's what's up. Hey, isn't something going on the 26th?
Yes.
For the creators, right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
For the creators. Yeah. We actually have an event. I'm glad you reminded me. We have an event coming up January 26th from 7 to 9 at InspiredU.
InspiredU. What's inspiring you?
We will be posting the flyer coming up very soon, but we'll have the link also in the description you can check out. Make sure you visit trapshopping.com/event-register. Yes. And you can register for our event, see all our past events, but make sure you check us out at InspiredU 7 to 9, January 26th at InspiredU. Make sure you sign up at trapshopping.com/event-register.
That's on the west side of Atlanta. And seats are going to be limited. Let me say this again. Seats are going to be limited on purpose.
Yep.
So there is a reason why you need to be on their registration list, because after a certain amount of seats, I'm telling you this right now, you will be charged. Yep. Cody didn't even know I'm about to say that. I'm telling you right now, there's going to be a certain amount of seats that are going to be reserved. After that, it will be a fee to get into this room. So make sure you sign up and sign up quickly, because if you don't, you will see a fee, just saying.
And I'm gonna tell you one more time, trapshopping.com/event-register. You will see all our past events, this event register form, where you'll be able to get an email with a QR code we scan when you show up. So make sure you sign up for that. You don't wanna miss it. And of course, Creator Collective is gonna have a lot of events coming up too as well. So it's just a big powerhouse collaboration of greatness going on over here. So make sure you don't miss out on any of it. We thank you for tuning in on TikTok. We hope you can hear us and see us just fine. It looks like you can. Thank you for tuning in on the podcast at marketingmousetrapagency.com.
Yes.
We promise very soon we'll be live on all platforms. There's a lot going on. This one's on me, and you'll be able to see when you check out all the platforms exactly why it's taking time. But we have a lot going on, so thank you for checking it all out. We'll have all the links in the description. And until next time, own your data.
Own your future.
Peace.
Peace.